Regardless of the outcome
So
over the
that's
course of
what?
the next 2 years, the president will look for ways to use his executive authority to benefit middle-class families. The second thing is the president's going to continue to look for partners on Capitol Hill, Democrats or Republicans, who are willing to work with him on policies that benefit middle-class families.
Democratic strategists were hanging on to a thread prior to Tuesday, the inkling that perhaps some of the polling numbers would be wrong, or certainly not as dire. What they got was a harsh wake-up call, a cold shower of reality that is being felt from the White House on down. Call this what it was, a massive failure from the left. And now they are the ones trying to decipher what to do next. Let's welcome to MidPoint, one of the best there is at what he does, working with Democratic candidates and progressive issue groups, president of Bannon Communications in the nation's capital. He'll be talking to plenty of clients this week, I have a fearing. Brad Bannon joins us today. Brad, thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me on, Ed.
Brad, would you agree with those who say, and I saw this on a couple of different reports, if you will, that a White House aide had tweeted out the words, and it was the F-word bloodbath is exactly what they put on this one. Does that pretty much capture everything?
Oh, yeah, it was a very bad night for Democrats. There's no getting around it. And the question is, how do we get to where we want to go from the low we hit last night?
So that low you hit last night, let's look at a couple of issues here. Would you agree with those who say that one of the key mistakes that the Democrats made is they continued to pound and pound and pound away at this war on women rhetoric that, simply put, is not getting any traction anymore, and many people are saying it's just not so. It's a fraud.
Well, I think one of the problems that Democrats we had last night or during the campaign is that we didn't talk enough about the economy. You're right, there are a lot of issues that got discussed, but you know, the most telling statistic I saw in the exit polls last night was that 78% of the voters yesterday were worried about the economy. And yes, I think we got distracted, talked about a lot of issues that don't focus on people's economic concerns.
But then why did they do that? Because the Republicans, or the Democrats rather, seem to have everything so well put together in 2012. As a matter of fact, if you go past the last two presidential elections, they had everything working for them. Suddenly it seems as if they either didn't change and just kept doing the same old thing over again, or they completely missed what this country was looking for.
Well, honestly, midterm elections are referendums on the president, and President Obama's job rating has been in the low 40s. And anytime where the incumbent president has job ratings so low, his party's going to get smashed in the midterm elections. And that's what I think last night. That's what I think happened last night. It was a referendum on Barack Obama, and voters found him wanting.
If it was indeed the referendum on the president, then a lot of the Democrats basically separated themselves from the president just as much as they possibly could. Certainly even some basically saying they didn't even vote for him. Wouldn't that have made a difference then? They were trying to put the distance there, and shouldn't that have let the public know that they don't necessarily stand with the president?
Well, I think that the reality is, if you're a Democrat, voters, they saw a Democrat on the ballot yesterday, they saw Obama. So I think Democratic candidates went to ridiculous extremes to try to distance themselves from the president. For instance, in Kentucky, where Allison Grimes told voters she didn't even want to say who she voted for, you know, that sounds weak. And she would have been better off saying, yeah, I voted for the president, and I'm happy he did. He was effective on issues A, B, and C, and I differ with him on issues D, E, and F. But just saying totally distancing himself is stupid and insults the voters' intelligence.
So about the minute or so that I have left here, the president now apparently is very despondent or angry, depending on who you listen to at this point. What does he do now to at least get some confidence back in him? And there's many people who say he's the one that's got to start coming with his hat in hand a little bit to Congress now.
Well, honestly, I think the big mistake that the president made was he put too much of a smiley, happy face on the condition of the economy. Yes, we've had more than 50 straight months of job growth, but Americans are still having trouble paying their mortgages, feeding their kids, and sending their kids to college if they're lucky enough to have a kid that smart. And I think the president has to talk more about the problems in the economy and not not have happy talk about the economy all the time. I think that was a big mistake.
All right, we're heading towards 2016 as well. Out of time right now, but I'll tell you what, Brad, we'll have you back in again soon. We'll see what happens here and how we get to 2016 on both sides. Brad Bannon, thanks so much for joining us, my friend.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, breaking back here on MidPoint. Is it just possible that becoming a more integrated planet is the worst thing that could happen to America, economically and politically? And at 43 minutes after the hour, winners, losers, speeches, they all come together. Words America will hold certain people to for the next few years. That's coming up right here on MidPoint, where every day we question everything.